So we're back for another episode of On The Box with Victory Kickboxing Series. It is now our second kickboxing show and I am super excited. Mate, this couldn't have come any sooner.
Yeah.
Like, it killed me to wait so long to do our second show. You know, our first show was so good and, you know, had such good feedback. I just wanted to do another one straight away.
Yeah.
But we stuck to the plan, we've kept it. We're now launch our next show on the 27th of October. Same place, UA Sports Park. The venue worked out really well, so I'm really excited to get back in there and do a second show. Just up that level again and, you know, and keep increasing it year on year, I think.
Yeah, I think we needed to have a little bit of time out just to make sure we can definitely raise the bar.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
We hit a really good level.
Yeah,
time,
and I think
we need to keep going.
And I think the plans that we got for this next show, hell, the fights that we got for this next show, you don't have to do much, but like it's so nicer now. It's so much nicer to actually have like fights coming in that we're like, wow, that's gonna be a really really big fight, and it's nice to kind of be in this position where we know we can improve on things and make things better. And it just provides another great platform, another great show, you know, that people will be talking about weeks and weeks after.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
we've had a lot of the fighters and the clubs that fought on the first show mad to come back as well.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a lot of different clubs that wanted to get involved as well. So it's like it's really paying.
Because I think you know, all of us involved are always trying to give back to the fighters. You know, they get in the ring and they put it all on the line. You know. Right, and they do it for so many shows where they get nothing back from the club, from the shows and stuff like that. They train, they put all the work in. Yeah, they're trying to build up their name, their reputation, and stuff like that. But like, it's so much harder to do that when you haven't got a bigger viral audience and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, so we try and film the clubs. We try and get in there and demonstrate and show the fighters' hard work.
Promote the fighters.
Promote the fighters a bit more, you know. I think it works well, and it's why fighters want to fight on our show, and they should. It's a really good show to fight on, and we're trying to look after these fighters. And if anything, if everything goes to plan at this next show, we're set up for a really big year next year, and we're in talks with some other people and some other venues and stuff like that, where it's like we could be stepping up that game just a little bit more. Again, we haven't got to run before we can walk. We just got to take nice steps forward, you know, just to provide a really good show that the spectators can come and watch. You know, the atmosphere at the last show was amazing. I've never been to a show and seen people dancing and having a good time, and you know, the DJ and the entertainment that we had was like so good. People were like, they weren't sitting there twiddling their thumbs, and because we'd done so much backstory on some of the fighters and the clubs.
Yeah.
People weren't leaving.
People actually, it seemed like people were invested, like they had an idea of who these fighters are.
Yeah.
It's not just two guys get in the ring and then they see, you know, how good are they, what sort of fight it is.
Exactly.
Like they already kind of knew the backstory.
They just wanted to see how it all unfolded and stuff like that, which was nice to see.
Especially the headlining fights. I mean, there was some points like trying to do the commentary. And like, there's people on top of me like, shouting and cheering. I was like, I can't do this.
Exactly.
You know, but I was there as well.
And I think that's what we want to provide. And I think the way this card's looking so far, just our main card, you know, we now have AJ, versus Scott.
Versus Scott Asinski.
And like both of those guys fought on the last show, and they almost dealt with a bit of a dull card in a way. Yeah. You know, AJ's opponent dropped out the night before. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't get no shorter than that, you know, but being the warrior that he is, he just stepped up and it's like, I'll just fight. Luckily, one of the other fighters, Ahmed, his big brother, he was coming anyway. He said, hey, I'll step in, but it's got to be boxing. The kid's a K1 fighter. He doesn't do boxing. He steps in, does boxing. It doesn't go his way. Yeah. But he just wanted to be part of the show and he wanted to fight.
And don't forget about there was a weight difference. Like the guy Ozcan. And Ozcan, I mean, if you watch the videos back from that fight, Ozcan is a tight boxer. Like he knows what he's doing.
Well, he was 4-0 going into that. I mean, it's one of those things, as a fighter, you want a fighter that's going to step up and, you know, fight at the end of the day. Like, and not not just back down or quit when it gets tough.
Or step out as soon as it gets.
But then same with Scott. You know, Scott came into that fight with an injury. Now, he said, yeah, it feels good, it's okay, I'll fight with it. It just took one clean shot to the same location on that ribs, and everyone knows when it comes to ribs, that's a hard thing to fix. You can't just bandage it up and it be done. You've got to let it recover. And you
don't know until
until it's too late. And he took a big shot and it ended it. And he didn't get to show what he had been working on and stuff like that within that fight. Yeah. But now he's been training. Now he's been focusing purely on strengthening that area and making sure that it's fully recovered. We saw him the other day, and he was very much like, I'm on point with this.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed really focused and really confident that, as far as the rib was concerned and like his fitness and everything else, like he's ready.
Yeah, and I'm just seeing him train and looking at him, I'm thinking, yeah, he is ready. Yeah. But same with AJ. Like
AJ's always
he's one of these kids. He's so calm and so collected. He's the most chill person, but he's a very strong, like solid dude. He used to be like 90. I think he was like 96 kilo. He used to be like a really big dude before he started fighting. So like he still has those solid foundations. Yeah. So like when I've sparred him and stuff like that and go through it, you can tell he moves and hits like a heavyweight, like a heavier dude and stuff like that. So
he's powerful.
Very powerful.
He's very powerful coming forward as well. Like we've seen in his past fights. Yeah. He'll fight aggressive fighters that really try and meet him. Yeah. And he just keeps going, and he will go through them. At the end of the day, they always end up on the back foot because he's just a solid lad. And
I think it's a perfect matchup. It's one of those things. There was some technical issues with AJ's first opponent. So we've had to rejig that a little bit. But hey, Billy phoned up Scott and was like, Scott, this is what's happened, and he's like, I'm up for it.
I'm happy with
just go. And I think it's perfect. I think it's something that everyone can get behind and really like look forward to seeing how it unfolds. And I mean, we've still got, for me, what I think is going to be potentially fight of the night, and that's going to be Ahmed versus Tommy 2.
That first fight was so close.
Wow. I still watch that fight back now, and I'm like, that is like razor thin. It could have gone either way.
It's got to be a special fight for me, for a juniors fight.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, I can appreciate the juniors fighting, but for me to like get goosebumps and get excited
100%.
About it, it has to be a real tear up, and that was a tear up.
But these guys, and they didn't hold anything back. Absolutely nothing. They literally went at it full on for the whole 3 rounds. Now it's a 5-round fight.
Yeah.
Now we get to see let's who's got the gas tank for it, because toe for toe, they're quite equally matched. They were back and forth at each other. It wasn't like one side was dominant or got a lucky break. They were literally on each other, and it could have gone either way. And I think the second one is going to be even more violent and even more like behind it because they know each other now.
It's got potential.
They know how tight it was. They know it can go either way. It's going to be those championship rounds that will make the difference between whether that person holds that junior title or not. Yeah. I don't think they're going to leave it to like a real tight decision.
If I'm honest, I can't see it going to a decision.
It's
possible because they're both. I mean, Tommy's got a lot of experience. He's had a lot of fights. He's had a lot of continuous fights. You know what I mean? And Mamba martial arts, like they're bang on it.
Yeah.
Speaking to Ahmed, like it's crazy speaking to Ahmed after that fight, and he wasn't happy. He got the win, but he wasn't happy with his performance. He felt like he needed to up his fitness a bit, his aggression a little bit, and straight away he went back and he was training with his coach Oscan, and they immediately started to change his training based on what happened in that fight. So speaking to him, he's like, no, this is the one.
But don't you think, like, because Ahmed's the kind of kid, he sleeps in the gym. Yeah. He doesn't leave the gym. He will be in there day in, day out, and he wants to be better. So like I can understand him coming out of the fight and thinking, I could have done better to be more have a more decisive decision. But like, I can't fault either one of those fighters.
No.
And there's always room for improvement. There's always things that you can do better and stuff like that. But like for a second match, it would be nice to see who's actually can execute those improvements.
Yeah.
And who can actually make those little changes that become a definitive win.
Yeah.
You know,
who actually implements.
That's what I'll be interested to see. You know, in that second fight, and I think it's one of those things where it's for me, it's one to watch, and it's definitely, I think, has the potential to be fight of the night. Yeah. You know, just because it'll be hard because there's some fights that are to be announced still. That can easily be fight of the night.
I know we are
you know,
holding a few things back because we're just going to make sure that everything's matched
until it's confirmed. It's confirmed. One thing,
some stinking fights.
I tell you one thing I'm super happy with, because I was worried it might not happen, but we've got Remy Sayer back in the mix as well.
Yes.
And this time he's fighting a guy called Gassan. For me, he's pretty unknown. I'm going to have to do some more research on him. The fight's just recently been confirmed. So like
yesterday.
Yeah, a couple of days. I think we've been talking for a week or so, but I think we just got it all confirmed up and stuff. But the best part about it is for ISKA British Cadet K1 title. So not only we'll have a couple area titles in there, we're going to have a British title in the mix as well. And listen, as I always say it, and I will always say it, Remy Sayer has more belts than I have trousers, right? But this fight, he's fighting a kid that's also a decent level champion, and he's a decent level fighter, has a lot of experience, you know, in kickboxing. And as I said, when I do more research, it'd be nice to watch him and see what he's about. But from what I've heard, this is going to be a very technical fight, a very still vicious but very technical fight with two young champions. You know, like, you got to remember, these are kids.
It's crazy. I mean, when we went over to see Remy, you know, to film some stuff with the guys over there, and he had all his belts out, and it was like, how many belts a year? How old are you? How does that work? You know, how can you be that age and have like 30? How many belts he's got? It's crazy. Like,
it's like they need a room for their belts,
it's kind of thing. To be fair, the whole
it's one of those situations where I look at it and I think, I love that, you know, because you got longevity in these fighters, these young fighters, and they're coming at such a great level, you know, that you look at them in the street and you wouldn't think anything of them.
No.
You know, but they're born into it.
Yeah.
Like, these are the kids that are born into fighting, you know.
They're so passionate.
So it's not about the glitz and the glamour.
They're not made to do it. They're not pushed into doing it. Like, you can tell.
They're born into it. Dedicated. And they're not trying to live the life. They're not trying to talk and tell all their friends they're a fighter. They fight every day.
Yeah.
They go through the mix every day. You know, they build up. They're not Instagram fighters. You know, they're just in it and they're in the full mix. So I appreciate watching fighters like that.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate sitting down and watching a fight like that, because I think for me, it's what makes the show that much better.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, 100% when you see it.
With that matchup, you guaranteed a good fight. I mean, we saw Remy fight last time.
Yeah.
He looked so good.
Like, I love watching that kid fight, you know, and I've watched him fight numerous times. So, for me, it's nice. I want to see him get challenged.
Yeah.
You know, because it's all good having those belts, but like, when you can put someone in front of you who's almost your equal potentially, you know, well, on paper.
That's when you shine.
That's when you want to shine. That's when you want to kind of step up. And then when you do it for a British title, now you've got some ground, you know, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
It's exactly the same situation with Scott Osinski. You know, his last couple of fights, he's had like injury problems.
Yeah.
I personally, I want to see him let his hands go.
Yeah.
I want to see him deliver what he's got, because I know that he can put a really good fight in. But we just haven't had the chance yet, and you know, obviously with AJ, we all know what AJ is about, and I think that's going to give Scott a chance to really shine.
It's whoever goes first, you know, and continually goes and really puts the work in. I think will come out on top, you know, and that's all you could really ask for.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want anything more. I think Billy's doing a fantastic job of taking his time matching these fighters. He's not just going, oh, you'll do. You know, he's literally going, okay, I've got this guy in my pocket, but I'm not going to match him until I get someone that's of the right person for that, you know. And he's networking with all the other coaches, all the other clubs, and, you know, he tells me all the time, he's on his phone from morning to night, constantly messaging through, because he wants to take his time with this show. He doesn't want to just pick up whatever.
Yeah.
You know, we've only got 16 fights this show. We've only got 16 matches. So like, we could fill that card up twice already. You know, with the amount of fighters that have come to us.
Absolutely.
However, we're like, no, we want to have 16 good bouts. We want the spectators to come to a show. We don't want the spectators to be like, oh, I'm just waiting for all these people to go through. You know, like, we want them to come and be like, I'm going to stay from the start till the end and watch every fight and be like, wow.
And you can easily match up fighters, and then 2 or 3 weeks later you've spoken, you've had new offers from new clubs, and actually those matches don't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, but every match that we've announced so far makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And I don't think, you know, there's going to be a boring fight on the night.
No.
You know, there's a couple of rematches on there, but like, other than that, we're looking at like top level quality fighters stepping into the ring to put on a fantastic show, and that's all I would ever want to hope for, you know, and stuff. So we're going to do a little cool feature on this show. I think we'll go into who we think is our one to watch.
Yeah.
So for me, the one to watch, the fighter that I'm probably really keen to see step in the ring, it's got to be Jack Trouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I've sparred with him a couple of times, you know, but watching him at the light continue, he looks solid.
It was crazy to think that was his first fight. It was absolutely
I couldn't,
crazy.
like...
Absolutely crazy. The amount of people that went back to Billy afterwards and like, that was really his first fight. Genuinely is.
Like,
you know?
This kid, not even a kid, like, this guy is, for me, I don't want to put too much pressure on him.
Yeah.
You know, because it's going to be his second fight.
Yeah.
Not second K1 fight. His second fight.
Like, his biggest fight, this is going to be the first time he's under the lights in a ring with a crowd around him on a nighttime show with that kind of atmosphere. But not a like continuous daytime.
No.
But
if he can take that composure and that strength, the precision in his strikes, if he can take that into the big show, he'll come out with a win.
Yeah.
You know? And his opponent he's fighting...
Yeah, Ty Riches. He fought on the Lycon show as well. And he looked really, really clean for the first couple of rounds. He just seemed to gas out like towards the end of his fight. And that's what lost him the fight. Speaking to him, he'd had an MMA fight, his first MMA fight, the week before.
Right.
And then he took this really quickly. I mean, in his MMA fight, he knocked his guy out in like 56 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Like, it was over. And
I'm
not talking about like a submission.
Yeah.
Like, he knocked his guy out.
But it's hard to learn when you fight like that. You know, Michael True said to me, you want to get the rounds in. That's when you get better, when you get the rounds in and stuff like that, when you're just knocking everyone out. Are you really learning anything? Yeah. But it's a good point, like, you know, when you don't have the gas tank, you can't train for that. Like, well, you can train to improve that, but like, when it goes, it goes.
When it's gone, it's gone.
You can't do nothing about that. But I think, you know, both fighters look clean. They're both up and coming. They're both new. So like,
they both got heavy hands as well. Don't forget.
I just think it's one of those situations where, you know, they're gonna have a lot of support behind them. They're gonna have a lot of people screaming for them at the show, and I think that's gonna hype them up loads. They're gonna walk out into those lights, and I think it's just gonna change that game completely. You know, and I think they will both go in there with the attitude of, I'm gonna leave it all in the ring.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
And that's why, for me, Jack Trouse is the one to watch, and Ty again is another guy who's very clean, has great potential, but I got to back Jack on this one.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And the other thing about Jack, he seems to have that little bit of like a bad temper. Not a ridiculously bad temper, but a healthy for a fighter. Yeah. Bad temper. He's got that intent.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And if he can keep on top of that, and he's got that little bit of a mean streak, that always makes an explosive fighter. It's because he's got heavy hands.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And he looked really, really slick. His movement was nice. He looked like he'd been doing it for a while.
He's just a very technical fighter.
You couple that with a little bit of bad
venom.
intention, and that's like you've got something special.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's definitely going to be interesting to see that.
Well, I cannot wait. You know, like as soon as this show gets underway, I'm excited. I love the build up to the show. I love working. I love getting all the promo stuff done, and you know, because I get excited because I'm a big fan. Yeah. You know, more than anything. You know, so like I'm excited about it. We put tickets on sale last week or 2 weeks ago, and we've pretty much nearly sold out all of our tables already. We're now talking to the venue to see if we can add more tables because you know we're probably gonna sell out. So like that's a good position to be in. It's nice to be like, wow, we've still got to give out tickets to fighters and stuff, and you know we're nearly sold out. You know, so it makes me happy as a promoter that you know people want to come to the show and they want to see it and they want to be part of it. You know, and as I said, we've got some big plans. We've still got some big announcements to come forward. And I just can't wait.
Itching to spill, but
I just can't wait. Do you know what I mean? It's just like it's all progress. Yeah. And you know, when you come to the show, I want people to come to the show, and I said I want them to talk about it for weeks after, because it's unlike any other R-level type show that they'll go to. You know, like.
And I want to be going back watching the videos again.
I want it to be valued. You know
what I mean? Like genuinely enjoying the fights.
We're trying to make small changes that have a big impact. You know, and I think between myself and Billy and even yourself, John, like we're all on the same path. You know, we all want the same goal, so like we're all working towards that. And I think this will be the show that will set the benchmark for how we start next year.
Nice.
And that, so 27th of October at the UEA Sports Park, Norwich. Make sure you're there for one of the biggest fight shows of the year.
Don't miss it.